Civilization 7 has had a couple of big balance patches that have come out since its launch, and one of the things that they haven't really touched is the Han civilization. And I found this interesting because there's a couple of what I thought were bugs, but it turns out it could actually just be a balance issue instead. Today's video demonstrates why the Han civilization is just completely broken, both on a fundamental, actually broken level, and also an overpowered balance level as well. So let's get into it. We're going to start off by saving this game if you'd like to play along. I'll leave the save on the Discord where you can play along. It is a daily game on standard speed in the Antiquity Age. It's just a standard length game, not a long error game, and we're not playing with any crises. So let's get into it and talk a little bit about why this civilization is broken. As we get closer to the main reason, that's the Great Wall unique improvement, we'll talk a little bit more about it. But for the most part, let's start off the game with a pretty standard way. We're going to focus on just getting a couple of scouts out nice and early. We are playing as Xerxes, the Achaemenid of the Han, which means that we've got access to these two mementos, some pretty standard mementos now. I think most people are going to be running these. Now, when it comes to playing the Han, we're not looking to grow at all, which is why we've grown in a bit of a weird route. Normally, you wouldn't take this tile because it's just one gold. It's kind of bad, and you'd want the production instead, but we need to avoid growth like the plague. We need to make sure that we are not growing. That is incredibly important because that is the whole idea with our strategy here, is that we do not grow. Instead, what we want to do is just stall out our growth as much as we can. Can we get our nameplates back on? Thank you. We want to stall out our growth as much as we possibly can so that we can get Great Walls down because of the way that the mechanics of the Great Wall work. And looks like we've met our first leader of today. It is going to be Ashoka. Now, this is not the good Ashoka. This is the bad Ashoka. This is the Ashoka that you need to send requests to immediately so that he stays friendly with you. And that is because of his agenda. So he likes civs with the least amount of land. And that is really hard to do. So he's going to get very upset with us throughout this game. And because, obviously, we're avoiding food, so we're going to have to take the science here, so let's go ahead and do that. But yeah, throughout this game, it is going to be difficult with him as a neighbor. I would say he is probably the worst neighbor that there is. There's a couple of other like contenders when I think about it for the title of the worst possible neighbor. Like, who else could there be? I think Ben Franklin is probably a good candidate for the worst neighbor as well. That's definitely one of them. Other than that, yeah, I mean, it's basically people whose agendas are very difficult to satisfy. Those are the people who are going to be your worst neighbors. And I think today, oh, hello, Zhang Jia, and we've also got ourselves a little goody hut as well. So this is a natural wonder that we could definitely consider settling. It is not too bad at all. So we'll have to think about that. We'll have to look at the lay of the land here. I mean, there's a couple of how are we going to be building our Great Walls in here. We could go for something like this. So where would we even settle? We could settle on this tile. It's going to upset him, though. That's the thing. If we settle here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we could go for like a settlement down here and then kind of grow up towards it. But it's one of those things where you really want to limit just how much you're taking advantage of these kinds of things, just because, well, we're not really able to do much with this. Anyway, let's focus on the game at hand here. So normally you would be going into mysticism at this point, or discipline, depending on the type of game you wanted to have. But we're going to be going into the unique civic Xi, and that's because it unlocks the Great Wall. It's an incredibly powerful, probably the best unique civic in the game, just from a power perspective. It gives you so much power. Not only are you getting the Great Wall, but you're also getting the settlement limit straight away, and you're also getting the science buildings gain +1 science adjacency for quarters. It is so damn good. It just hits you from every single side. We've got another goody hut up here, another 2 goody huts up there by the looks of it. So that is quite nice. Another 2 out here, and Hattusa, which is lovely because this is an economic city-state. Now, unfortunately, this economic city-state is hostile, and hostile city-states are never fun to have around you. So I think we're probably going to want to befriend these guys as quickly as possible so that we can avoid any kind of military issues with them. Let's just put it that way. All right, so we are racing through these turns early on. I think we might send this scout down to pick up these goody huts. This guy can continue down here. We've got gypsum. We've also got more camels. We've got another goody hut. So let's head on down and see if we can pick these bad boys up. Also got another city-state in here. I tell you what, we are flooded with city-states at this point in the game. That's 3 that are all close and all hostile to us. So we want to move around and we want to grab that goody hut. So let's go ahead and do that. We've also got this one as well. So is that another hostile city-state? Why is there a hostile scout up here? Oh, we got a dust storm. We got a dust storm. We got a little bit of a trouble. Now, the good news is with the dust storm, there's nothing that it can really damage other than the gypsum. So worst case scenario, we just repair the gypsum and just hope that it adds a couple. Please don't give us any food yields, okay? I'm going to say that right now. Please don't give us any food. We don't want food. Now, we do have the option to pick up some culture here, which could be quite helpful, but we're already pretty ahead when it comes to culture. We just need to make sure that when we're doing this strategy, when we're opening up with this strategy, we need to make sure that we research G before we actually get the next growth. So at the moment, our growth is going to be 76 food. We need to make sure that we, in 13 turns, we're going to be able to build the Great Wall in that time. And we definitely are, so we don't need to take the culture here. So let's continue moving out. We're not going to take the food. We're going to take the science. That's going to give us animal husbandry, which is lovely. And we're slowly working towards having that 5th settler in the population. We'll also grab masonry for a little bit of a boost to our production. And we'll look to come down here and see if we can snag that away. It's bad timing. It's unfortunate timing. But at the end of the day, we get to meet Tecumseh. Tecumseh, good to see you. Hopefully he can send us an agreement or two. We can pick up maybe some early gold here. And might get a little bit lucky here from him. Now, another thing to note is because we're going to be forward settling Ashoka, we probably should look to get open markets as well. So let's go ahead. We'll give him open markets. He was actually sending us military aid at the same time, so probably not the best time to do it. But hey, at the end of the day, as long as we've got more and more agreements, we're going to be okay. He's hot on our trail here as well. We can sack this. I don't actually know. Are we going to be able to... I think we should be able to get out of this. We should be okay. So let's keep moving. That was more camels that we just saw, by the way. I'm cautious. I think there's another city-state in here. Yeah, there's another city-state. As soon as I saw that that hostile unit... Really? How did that unit die? That unit was on this tile. It was about 66 health. What actually killed it? 66 damage. You're telling me a warrior did 66 damage to my scout? I don't know if I believe that. It was on flat land? Wasn't on a river? I'm going to be honest. I don't buy it. I think that's a little bit silly. But we'll try and come around here. And it's okay. We start off with 3 scouts anyway, so it's not a huge deal. This is a nice little settle down here. We should probably start thinking a little bit more about where we're going to be dropping our settlements down, because our settler is going to be coming out shortly. Wait, did we lose? Oh, we lost a mine. Let's go ahead and repair that. When did we lose this mine? This must have been a while ago. I thought we had this mine online. We've got a little bit of a slow start here. Turn 16, our settler is finally getting clicked. So that's going to be a turn 19 settler. We want to take this spot as ideally as soon as we possibly can. We're going to take the happiness here just because we can't afford to take the food right now. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's continue moving here. I think we can probably get this scout to come up and around in a clockwise rotation, and we'll do the same with this scout right here and look to try and cover this. There's some cotton in here, some good land as well. So we'll look to try and maximize our bonuses. And oh my lord, there's some gypsum up here. I tell you what, I'm in love with all of this land. Now, if we move on to this tile, we should be able to secure this next turn. Yeah, that was definitely the right call. We will get slammed, but we should be okay. So let's keep on moving. We want to do as much scouting as we can, so this guy can now come up, and we want to avoid... Oh my lord, there's units, military units out here everywhere. Another hostile city-state, I tell you what. There are so damn many of them, dude. That is ludicrous. Let's go ahead. We'll grab our extra culture. We'll chuck in our tool making. And in one turn, we're going to be unlocking G, which means in one turn, we can go ahead and grab our Great Wall. And that's really where the fun begins, because that's what this video is all about. It's about the Great Wall just being completely broken. You know, the reason why I've had the Han so low on tier list before was because I genuinely thought that this was a bug that they were going to be fixing. I didn't think it was... I didn't think this was like the mechanics, but more and more it felt like it's come to light recently, where people are like, no, actually this is 100% intended. This is the way it's meant to be. So that's sort of where I'm at the moment. So let's go ahead and we will take that production. Our settler, we're going to move out over towards. We haven't really had a look at over here. There's gold. There's hides. There's camels. You could go for something like this, where you've got hides as well as the camels, but you're going to grow very quickly. It's all grassland here. I'd be much more tempted to take this spot right here and then grow out to the desert, because there's a lot less growth there. So that's what we want to try and take advantage of. So let's go ahead and grab the gold, and we'll move into mysticism. And let's keep rolling over these turns. You can see now that now that we've dropped the Great Wall down, what's happened is our population has gone from 5 to 4. So we were able to get this settler out, and when we did that, our population was still 5. But when we put the Great Wall down, it's pushed us down to 4 population. And what that means is, even though it costs the same amount of food to grow here, we're actually keeping this tile. So I'll bring up a post from the Discord that explains it incredibly well. From the One More Turn Discord. He did a wonderful job of explaining it, and yeah, I'll basically just seek to provide that as evidence for this. So our next turn here. So what's going to happen on the next turn is we're going to complete the Great Wall. And when we do that, we've now got a really good tile, a 3 culture, 3 production, 1 gold tile. And what's interesting about this, and look, I'll let D Animal explain, because he's the one who posted it. So initially, I posted up this tier list, and I said, okay, you know, Han is increasingly looking like it's probably going to be an S+ tier. And he responded by saying, to someone who sort of sought clarification on what I said, For any other unique improvement, you place them on already worked tiles, and your total population stays the same. This effectively means that your unique improvements boost yield, but don't change your population at all. The Great Wall is different. When you place a Great Wall unique improvement, you still get to keep your yields and the Great Wall booster, as we can see here, but your population in that settlement reduces by 1. This affects the amount of food that you need to grow again in a very favorable way. And that's exactly why we needed to get this Great Wall down before we actually grew. Because every time we grow, what's going to be happening is our food is going to be pushed up, the food required for the next population. That means that the food that you've got is now going to be stretched further for that next population to grow. What the Great Wall does is it gets around that. It stops that in its tracks. This effectively means that so long as you're placing your citizens in rural tiles, and then immediately putting a Great Wall on top of them, you are able to have a substantial number of growth events. A lot of us were assuming that this was a bug, myself obviously included, but there's been no open issue discussed by the developers, and it's also odd that there was a deliberate effort in the code to create an exception here, which suggests that it actually might be how it's supposed to work. And that's what this video is about. It's about demonstrating exactly why we thought that this was a bug, because of just how damn good it is. So let's get into it and continue going. Now, we're not going to make a second Great Wall, because when we do that, we're going to reduce our population down to 3, and we don't want to do that because we want to get more settlers out, so we need to get more buildings in. So we'll go ahead, we'll grab the saw pit, we'll put it on this tile right here, and we will continue working our magic. We've already grabbed so much gold. Have a look at how much gold we've got. This is a ridiculous amount of gold. We could basically turn this into a city straight away if we wanted to. You know what? There's a world where you actually could do that. Do we do it right now? Do we have gypsum? We've got gypsum we can send over here. It's not a terrible idea. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We're going to do it for the memes. Okay, let's do it. 550 population, or 550 gold. Immediately send over the gypsum. It's up to 11. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a Great Wall in it straight away. And what this is going to do is reduce the population down again, just to really drive this home and demonstrate it. So let's go ahead and put the Great Wall there. So now we're down to 2 population, and we'll be growing in 45 food. But do not fret. We will be absolutely okay. I can't. Yeah, that's actually quite funny. I didn't even think about doing that. This is going to be a good game. We've met another leader. It looks like Charlemagne. Hello, Charlemagne. So we'll give him a friendly in the hopes that he will send us out an agreement. He obviously has science agreements. I think he's also got the military agreement. So even if we can just get that agreement and not do anything with it, just accept it, then that's going to be passive resources that we're able to get. So let's go ahead and continue scouting, exploring. So in one turn, we're going to be growing with the saw pit. So there we go with the Shoka. So lovely. So how many agreements is that we've got? I think we've got 4 between us now. Actually, the cultural exchange has run out. We could look to run it again, but I kind of want to save up for Hattusa. I think we're going to be befriending both Hattusa and Babylon. We want to start with Hattusa because it's going to be an aggressive city-state, right? So we want to make sure that it stops attacking us if it's going to be attacking us. By the way, I think we might probably want to get a Jukunu out here as well. Could be a smart idea just in case this city-state looks to attack us. And wow. Did you see that? Did you see how many camels are here right here? Wow. That is a city. I mean, technically, one's in his capital and one's in our city, existing city already, but that is impressive. That's a lot. That is a huge amount of camels. Wow. Okay, let's have a look and see what else we've got up here. So over here, there's some decent settles as well. But these are all going to be, you know, we kind of want to leave these for him, just so in the hopes that he expands backwards rather than expands forwards. If he does expand forwards, though, it means that it is going to be, that's nice, double hides. We could settle right here. Let's go ahead and put a pin there just so that we can remember. 1, 2, 3, yeah, we can definitely settle there. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's... even if he does forward settle us, then we're going to get influence for it, right? And we can use that influence to befriend Hattusa sooner. So let's go ahead and now, instead of growing out to the cotton, keep in mind, I know that there's going to be people screaming, oh, take the cotton, take the cotton. We can't take the cotton. Why don't we take the cotton? Number 1, if we take the cotton, we can't put a Great Wall tile on it. Number 2, it's going to be giving us growth. And now that technically we've got Great Wall unlocked, we can grow to it, but we want to try and keep the Great Walls rolling as much as possible. So we'll take this right here and we'll look to grab a couple more settlers, and we need to make sure that we do that before our next growth event. So we've got 76 food until we grow once again, and we need to make sure that we have got that Great Wall down, so within 15 turns basically. So we got plenty of time before we need to put it down, so we might get a couple of settlements out here on the map. Let's go and grab this, and we can look to, I think we can just absolutely, let's go ahead and do that, and we'll move this guy out just because we've got Shangle that's kind of close to us here, and we've probably upset them by doing this. In fact, one of the things that we could do, can we incite a raid against Ashoka just for the memes? I've never actually done this before, but let's do it. I've tested it a couple times. I've never done it in a game. So that should now send, it should send 3 units towards Ashoka. That's the goal. And then at least that's kind of like going to keep him busy, going to keep him down a little bit. So we've got another expansion out here. So let's go ahead and put a pin down. That's the spot right there, because then we can go library right here. We need to make sure that there's nothing on this tile, but we could do a monument here. Then that's going to be a +2 monument, potentially a +3 monument. So we'll look to scout that out, and we'll continue up across the north here. So let's double back over here just to make sure, yeah, we can indeed put the monument there. And military aid from Tecumseh? No, but thank you for the gold. And here now that we've grown in this city, now we can actually start to grow a little bit more absurdly. So we can definitely take the Kaelin here. We can probably even look to take the camels shortly. So maybe let's take the Kaelin on the next growth event that we've got. But in the meantime, maybe we'll go into the brickyard up here. Now, just keep in mind that we do actually have a couple of tiles that we're going to be able to put our citizens. You know what we could even do right here, technically? We could put that there, kick this citizen out, and then take the Kaelin, and then put the Kaelin in here. And that's going to make us grow even faster, which means that we can then put more Great Walls down and gather more production. Okay, all right, now we're starting to cook with some gas right here. All right, let's go ahead and put our policies in. So we want to put our gold in. At the moment, we've only got 4 gold, so we're going to change that over. That's going to become a 4 gold. It'll be 6 gold shortly, and then we'll, of course, look to get the next one in. We're also going to take some science from Charlemagne. Thank you very much. That'll help cover us, and we'll go into discipline. We're not going to be moving into our other unique techs or unique civics just yet. We will be taking both of these shortly because they're pretty damn good, but that'll be a little bit of a while. Now, a lot of pantheons have gone, but the good news is the only one that matters is still there, and that's stone circles. So, of course, we're going to take that nice little sideways expansion, which is always what we love to see here. So that is definitely a good thing, and let's get some work done with our Jukunu. And we've found the edge of that continent. So let's go and scout this out just a little bit more. So where exactly are we going to be putting this next settlement? I kind of want to do a little filler settlement over here just to make sure that we're going to be able to keep everything alive. That right there is probably going to be the best spot. Freshwater also has the gypsum immediately. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to go with pigs are protected this game. Lovely. He's still sending out deals. Now that shouldn't be... Yeah, that's far enough. That shouldn't be a problem. So now we can look at growing back here. We've also got altar, which is going to be quite nice. So what we can do is we can look to put the altar on this tile right here. Though, do we want to do altar on this tile? Yeah, we can do altar here. We're not going to be putting the oh, there is a monument out here. It's a plus way. It's not worth it. So I think we probably go for the altar here. Now, do we bring the Jukunu back? Because this guy is potentially going to be attacking us. So let's move this unit back. We could go for a settler here, or we could go for the altar. In 11 turns, we need to have this growth event taken care of. So how about let's go for the altar. Actually, you know what? Let's just go for the settler. We'll just do a settler straight up. Oh, man, I'm so indecisive. I'm so indecisive. Let's do it like this. Boom. And then we'll get this guy up there. And then I think we can, yeah, we can weave in like a nice little great wall like that. Okay. Scout is all scouted out. Let's go scout in here. We just want to make sure that we're not missing anything, even though it all looks like mountains. It's all computer. It's all mountains. All right. Our first attack. So just keep in mind, we are not befriending these guys yet. It's going to be a couple more turns, and then the counter will begin. It'll be 15 turns. So here, we could look to grow out towards this tile, but just simply because of the fact that we've already grown, or because we've taken the Kaelin, I'm a little bit scared that we're not going to be able to keep up with that growth. So we're keeping it at 45 for the moment. And even if it overflows up to 76, it's not going to be a huge issue. But we want to try and keep it as low as possible so that we can grow as much as we possibly can. Essentially, we just want to have all of this just being Great Wall. And we can definitely easily do that as well. So let's go ahead and make sure that we've got those coming through in 5 turns. That is a bit annoying. I did not expect that to happen. So let's work these down. We might even need to go into some Jukunu. He's going to stand on this tile next turn, isn't he? He's going to be so damn annoying when he does that as well. I tell you what, these barbs. I wouldn't be surprised if he's paid off a Tusa to come and attack us. I wonder if that's happening. Oh, I tell you what, have a look in there. I wonder. No, there's nothing in there. It's probably just going to be a mountain, but I tell you what, that's a nice looking mountain. By the way, talk about Machu Picchu right there. Because we're going to be playing this one through to the modern era. Oh, that could be a dead unit if we're not careful. We got to pull you out of there, buddy. And we got to make sure that, oh my, yeah, that's a lot of units that are coming through right now. I think we're going to have to go Jugunu. So let's see if we can get the altar down first. And then we're going to have to play this a little bit more carefully. Because we do also need to get the Great Wall in within 8 turns. So we can't do this. So that's going to be 2. And then we do the Great Wall on that tile. That's the only way we can really do this. Now, we can pull the kaolin out and just chuck it in the cap, and we can put the gypsum over here. Why are we building the monument? Can we cancel that monument? Because we need to build a great wall on that tile right there, which is also going to be troublesome because there's a risk that they attack us once again. I thought we were doing okay, but now all of a sudden, all of these units have come out and really made things look a little bit scarier. So let's focus those down. Did we get the altar? We did get the altar up, so we've got more production in here now. Great Wall's coming up in 2 turns, which is going to be keeping our population down. And just keep in mind that... Oh, beautiful timing. Oh my god, the timing on that is just immaculate. Yeah, keep in mind that we can still technically grow in this town, but every single time we grow, we're going to be able to add in a new wall. So that's going to be really important. What was that? It was our scout. That's okay. Beautiful land down here as well, by the way. Can we just remark on that? So our scout went down to a couple of people who are up to no good. Let's just put it that way. And we are 3 turns away here at the moment. So the main focus is just on clearing these units out. I also need to be cognizant up here. So maybe let's move onto this tile. We shouldn't be suffering too much damage from this unit. He falls back. Now, we did also just see a settler in here, the unique Morris settler. So we do need to be aware of that. Extend the wall. We're going to take the 25% to the wall and the codex. Just make sure that we actually got the codex, and we did, which is lovely. So now that we've got 2 segments of the Great Wall up, which is giving us a huge amount of culture, we're about to grow, and that means that we can grow again down here, and we can look to try and grow. So we want to try and keep around the 3rd ring of our city. So here as an example, we're not going to be able to do it, but we'll be able to come up and around the top of Chang'an. So there's definitely quite a bit of planning when you want to do a strategy like this and preparation. Now, we actually didn't want our monument to go onto that tile, which is very, very disappointing. Our monument needed to be on this tile right here. So I'm a little bit disappointed in myself that I forgot to cancel it because now it's stuck in here and we got to just let it go. So I'm sorry. It's -1 culture, but the good news is we're going to have plenty of culture this game anyway. So it's not a huge deal. So let's continue expanding though. And it's going to get to the point, though, where we do have a little bit too much food. So just keep that... Well, that's probably a bad decision. I think we lose that unit right now. I wasn't thinking that through. I was talking too much rather than thinking where I should be going. Okay, fortunately, we're okay. We're okay. All right, so we can put that in the city. That's going to heal up. This guy can chill out in the city. Actually, we can probably even move out with these 2. They're quite high health here. So now we've got our next growth. So we're going to grow to the production tile. And then from here, we're going to be growing in 8 turns. Now we could move the kaolin back in here if we really wanted to start pushing this to the limit. But after this, then we're going to be... continuing to push this out. Where do we go from here? Where do we grow from here? Ideally, there's a way that we could do it so that we come up and around like this. I think that's probably going to be the right call. So we go for something like that. Yeah, we'll do that. So 1, 2... Or we can't do this tile. 1, 2, 3. So how do we even do this? Because this is all going to become industrial or urban. So probably over on this side. Oh, yeah, actually over here. So maybe we take this tile right here and then something like that. 1, 2, 3... Do we go up here around like that? 1, 2. There's no way we can get all 3 of these tiles, but we'll sort it out. All right, we'll hold ground for the moment. And we've got Purabatera already out. Are you serious, dude? That is a turn 38 Purabatera? My lord, this guy is cooking right now. Jeez Louise. Okay, so we've got our next wall down. So that's all complete, which means that we're still going to be sitting at 76. We've also got the kaolin inside, which means that we're growing pretty quickly. And we need to get our library up, so that's going to be next turn. So let's go for a settler. Probably a smart idea. And we can also look to come out. Now, Hattusa, we want to befriend it. So let's go ahead and befriend Hattusa. We could probably even go bully Shangle. That might be a good idea. But we want to make sure that we're doing this at reasonable times. So no one's befriending Babylon. So now our goal is to befriend Babylon and kill Shangle. That's the goal. So let's heal this guy up. And we're doing work here, that is for sure. We need to be just a little bit cautious, though. That's the only thing. Okay, so when it comes to our Great Walls, how are we going to be making these? So I don't know whether we can put a Great Wall from this tile onto here. So we do need to be cautious, but we'll go ahead and we'll put that. That's where we put the next one down. So we can even just prepare that like that. We've also got the library that we can put down. So there is a very nice library right here. So let's bring that up to the top, in fact, just because the library is kind of important. We do also need to be considerate of the fact that we need more settlements. We want to be maxing our settlements as much as we can. So let's go ahead. Let's grab irrigation. We could probably even do another settlement after. Do we even really want to do our library right now? Maybe we don't want to do our library right now. Maybe we just want to get our settlements out. We're going to be growing in 9 turns in here. So that's 2. That's another 2. That's another settler. Let's just put that up for the moment. Let's try and get our growth out because we want to do one here, another one here. We're growing. Let's get all of our settles out and then we'll worry about our stuff afterwards. And yeah, you can see we need to be over here. This is where we need to be. So let's get over there right now. Ashoka's still sending us agreements, which means our relationship is slowly pushing up. His agenda, he's starting to get a little bit upset with us, and keep in mind that that's going to continue to get worse as the game goes on because it's not like there's going to be any shortage of land that we're taking. So now we need to focus these units down. So let's make sure that we get over there ASAP. And what have we got? We got Tecumseh coming in and giving us a little bit of assistance as well. We're going to go take that tile right there. And we can look to get the camels in now. And with the camels, that means that we can move. Oh, that is an interesting settle right there. Honestly, I don't even mind it. I don't think it's too bad. It's obviously, it's not a particularly good settle. But like, you know, the good thing is if he takes this, we can just trade with his settlement. And that is perfect for us. We love that. All right, let's focus some of these units down. So we'll move the Great General across. And this one here can focus the back line. And now the Great General can focus... let's see if we can hit that one. All right, that'll work perfectly. That's actually wonderful. And we're farming up a huge amount here. So we've got all 3 of our Great Walls down. In 3 turns, we're growing. So we're already good this turn. So we want to put down our library. We want it on this tile. We also wanted to put our monument down over on this tile. So I apologize for not getting that on the right tile. It triggers me, I assure you. Just know that I am triggered. We'll do the monument instead on this awkward little position. And we can probably even bring our scout in to bait away. But to be honest, I don't think we're going to need to bait at this point. We can now also look to befriend Hattusa, or rather Babylon. So let's go ahead and do that. How's Hattusa coming along? 10 turns. We could also look to accelerate their growth a little bit here. Now, he's actually grown out to the sheep, which is lovely. That is fine by me. I think the main thing for us is we want to do... Oh, you know what? That does actually hurt us a little bit because we were planning on putting our library here. And then we were planning, yeah, see, that does kind of hurt because I wanted to come up and around over here for our urban district. So we might have to do urban districts around here. Even then, oh, this is going to be tough. Okay, you know what? I see another vision. We'll come out and around like this. Shouldn't be too hard. We don't really need to secure the marble. I don't care too much about the marble. So let's just continue expanding out in this direction. And we'll focus down these units for now. We can even probably, if we fire off here, we should be able to get the level soon. So let's see if we can do that. And now we get the level. And so now units can move after unpacking from the commander. So if we do this and we pack into here and then we unpack onto here and then we fire and kill that guy. Yep, there we go. We got it. We got it. We nailed it. All right, let's get rid of the pin. Wonderful. And now we can do camels. And we can do this tile right here. It's going to be a little bit slow to grow. So here, as an example, Liu Yang, 17 turns. It's only going to be 50. So this is going to be our focus on getting online ASAP. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and move the Kaylin over towards this town. Get Chengdu growing a little bit faster so we can get more and more Great Walls over there. And just keep in mind, we're able to keep that number down nice and low. Let's put you on that. So it's going to be 1 turn, and we've grown, which is lovely. So now here we can look to go onto this tile right here, and we can put the library down. How long until we grow? Oh my god, it's 4 turns. Can we get that Kaylin out of here? We need to get other things built in this city as well. We can't just be building Great Walls, but we'll go ahead, we'll do the Great Wall, then we'll do the library. Library is a nice little +5 right there. So we'll take that, and then from there, where do we... I think we're going to have to go Great Walls up here. We'll work that out. We could probably do a nice little loop around these guys. And let's grab our extra culture and throw tool making in. How are we doing on gold? 800 gold for this guy. So we need to be able to convert this guy over to a city and then... and also at the same time be able to turn him into a... or get the first of the Great Walls out. So that's what we're considering at the moment. So let's focus down these guys. So all the barbs are looked after for the moment. And let's scout out these 3 tiles. There could be something good hidden up over there. We've got a fair bit of units here. So you can see the Great Wall is about to be completed. Not just yet, though. Let's focus down this guy. Wonderful. Get ourselves a little bit of gold from the military aid. Now our next settler is coming out. So we want to settle over here, but at the same time, Hattusa is going to take a while before it's friendly with us. So we've got to be very careful about how we get out here. And then we want to do another settlement in here, just so that we can connect this to the network. Because this is really good. The double hides is just incredibly powerful. So we want to try and take advantage of that. So let's accept military aid and move over here. So we want to even try and get back behind here. Now, we're befriending Babylon, 12 turns. Hattusa in 22. So we could actually look to befriend or do another cultural exchange. So let's go ahead. Oh, wonderful. And he supported it. So the reality is that this is going to get... The leader agenda is going to get worse over time because we're just continuing to settle. We've got so many damn settles that are happening right now. And because of that, we need to make sure that we are in a good spot with our relationship for him. So let's go ahead and grab our next upgrade, which is going to be maneuver, which gives us an extra little bit of movement here. And we've already got spears coming out. So let's... Oh, that was not my intention. Did that also put our scout in? It did. That's okay. Scout. Okay, we can go 1, 2, 3, and then put the scout in the front. So let's put the scout in the front. And we'll put the Jukunu here. And we'll put the other Jukunu on this tile. And we're just going to hope that he focuses down our scout instead of focusing down our units. That's the idea. We want to bait him into it. So let's continue. Scout up towards... Okay, we got gold in here. Not bad. There is a military unit. So how long until Hattusa's friendly with us? 6 turns. Okay, so I don't know whether we can come through here. We can try and sneak through here. Let's try and do it. Now, we are growing here. Now, did we get that next... I don't know whether or not we got the Great Wall in. So let's just go and do another Great Wall here. Why not? The sooner the better. Okay, so we are indeed doing a bit of a sneaky one right here. We do need to... Ooh, that's a lot of units. We might need to pull these back. So we might not... Actually, no, we should be okay. Just on the basis that... let's move you forward and see if you take the bait. On the basis that we're going to be befriended very soon. 5 turns and we'll be friends. So he's not going to kill us in 5 turns, so we should be okay. So now let's talk about where we are putting this next Great Wall. So we could do something like along the top here. That's going to be our library. So all of our urbans are going to be here. So this could all be rural. So let's go ahead and make that our rural like that. So we can now look to grow up on that as well. How long until we grow? 4 turns. So we're still weaving this in. And just remember, throughout all of this, as we just took... Where did we... Oh, that's not good. I don't think we can get a unit down there in time, which is really bad because we don't want to be buying units. We want to avoid buying units at all costs. I hadn't even considered that these guys would come out and try and attack us. We got a little bit of a barb problem at the moment, don't we? I tell you what, we got a little bit of a barbarian problem. So how about we go ahead? We'll fire on this guy. We'll fire on you, and let's move you inside here for the moment. How's Shengle doing? Shengle's still not being befriended, so that's fine. We get the scientific point. Let's go ahead and grab that. But I think we may actually need to purchase down here. Now, worst case scenario, we just buy it right at the end. So let's try and do that. Okay, so we're now going to start moving into our writing specialty, or our bonus, and we're also doing the same thing for Code of Laws. Let's double check our resource allocation rather. Let's get oratory in here. Give us a little bit of extra influence. That pushes us up to 17 influence per turn. We've also got the ability to trade, so we can now trade out to Thera, which is going to be lovely. And we do also need to find... Actually, how many cities do you have? He's only got the 2 cities. And this is... Like, I have no idea where this guy is, but, like... Bro. Like, was there something wrong with the freshwater camel cotton spawn? Why is this you know, why is this the spawn? Why is this or the settle? I don't get it. I don't understand the AI, man. I really wish I did, but I mean, I know that they fixed it. They definitely made it a little bit better. That's not good. Let's move you back, nice, and keep you nice and safe over there. So this city is definitely going to need a... We can probably go 1 more, but I don't want to risk it. We'll just buy the Chukunu in here, which really hurts because we want to get this over to a city as soon as we possibly can. We're going to take gold in all settlements. That'll push us up to 41, which is lovely. And now we can also grow now with this one. So my question is, I don't know if we're able to actually connect a Great Wall across here. And this could be very detrimental if we can't. So let's go and try. Let's see if we can do it. We can. We can connect a Great Wall across a cliff, which is absolutely lovely. So we're going to do that. But as you can see, we are still growing at 76 here in the capital. We're still growing out here at 45 in this town. This town out here is not so lucky. It's going to be a 76er as well. Yeah, things are going very well for us here early on. We're at turn 50. We're about to get our 2nd city online. So now that we've got a little bit more infrastructure in here, where do we go from here? We could look to try and get... Oh my gosh, we could look to try and get Petra. Actually, we could do Petra in the capital, though I don't think... I mean, even if we did Petra in the capital would be amazing. How long have we got? It's turn 50 right now. The problem is, if you go for Petra, it kind of ruins the strategy just because you're using so much production on Petra when you really need to be filling out everything else. So you 100% could do it. Whether or not you 100% should do it is a different matter. So we do need to get these camels, though. So let's think about that. We can also, oh my lord, we can think about granaries. We could put the villa on either one of these tiles. We could even put the villa here. I'm not too fussed. We'll just stick the villa on this tile. I'm not fussed. It's only one mountain. It's not a huge problem. Let's bring this guy back. I tell you what, we've had a little bit of issue out here, haven't we? These guys are... I mean, we got the Great Wall on this tile, so we'll be fine on defense. Let's get our wool. That's going to give us 50 culture and 100 gold. By the way, we can get this city converted over on turn 50. So let's go ahead and do that now. And immediately what we're going to be doing is just dropping in our Great Wall straight away. So that's going to be lovely. And then from here, where do we go? I mean, we could look to try and put... Yeah, okay, I think I know what we're going to do. We'll do library on here, monument on here. So let's even put these in right now. And then we'll do brickyard and saw pit on this tile. So we'll go brickyard and we'll do saw pit on this tile. And then we'll do a monument here. And then we'll do a library on that tile. And then that way we get maximum adjacencies for this tile for our library. But maybe we want to bring up the brickyard and the saw pit just a little bit. And we've still got 19 turns before we grow. So let's go ahead and we'll put the gypsum into these two. And the wool into Chengdu. And then that way we've still got really good production in here. Because obviously we've had all these rough tiles. We want to always make sure that we're... What was that? Really? What was that? What was that? A scout. Oh, that's not good. Hattusa's got 2 turns on it. Okay, we're in a bit of an awkward spot here. You better run, Mr. Settler, because he might actually die. That would be very awkward if he died. Especially if he died to Hattusa. When we're befriending. We also didn't speed up the befriending either. That's another thing to note. Okay, so in the end, we're still able to keep this alive, which is good. We could come out here and try and bait them in. Maybe let's do that. That was not the tile I wanted to go into. I wanted to go on this tile. If we go here, we're going to get double slammed. Let's go here and just hope that we get single slammed. Wonderful. Perfect. So now we can move this guy onto this tile, and then you can come in here. We can't actually move this guy. That's all right. Okay, so now we've grown. So once again, we're going to look to come... Oh, that's not a rough tile. That's a flat tile. Oh, okay. So we still want to try and focus on these two then. So let's go ahead. That makes it a little bit easier. So now that means that we can put the Great Wall over there. So as you can see, this is part of the reason why it's kind of silly, because we're growing literally every 4 turns. And as long as we're able to maintain a Great Wall every single time, we can just keep it here. So I hope that this has demonstrated exactly why I think this is broken. And that's like broken with a really, really big broken. it's big. So now let's look to go into Lee. Because we've now picked up our ability to start stealing. We're befriending here on Babylon. We're befriending with Hattusa. 1 more turn to go. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's awkward, isn't it? That's probably going to die. I think that dies, man. That really sucks. That was a whole settler. All right. I guess that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. They really hunted him down, didn't they? And we even tried to bait him across and, yeah, just wasn't able to find it. They were looking, and I guess they found. So well played to the AI there, managing to hunt us till the very end days. No. Ah, we lost it. We lost it. Yeah, that's sad, dude. We even... How sneaky do... Look at that. And now we become... Oh, dude. That's unfortunate, isn't it? It's just one of those things. All right, well, at least we can just move that out now directly. We don't have to think about it. Let's bring these guys back across. I tell you what, that is a sad state of affairs for us. All right, so we've grown on this city as well. I can't believe that, man. What is the timing on that? That is so sad, dude. Let's go ahead and we'll grab our library. It's going to be a 2 turn on the library. Dude, I'm so sad. Oh my gosh. 1 turn on the Great Wall. Not bad either. And we can also grab a settler in here as well. So let's go ahead and do that. I think we can worry about our yields. Do we really want to worry about our yields? Yeah, we do. We'll go into masonry. Look to try and boost our yields up slightly. Our production up a little bit here. Dude, I can't believe the timing on that. That is such bad timing, man. Oh, that is really disappointing. Just 1 more turn. I was thinking about, you know, do we really need to befriend them? Like, do we need to speed up the befriending? But I guess you can see, obviously, we didn't need to do that. So let's move you forward. I'm going to try and bait him out. And here, we've now got growth in 1 turn. And of course, we've got a little bit of time here that we can actually put these buildings down. So let's go ahead and do that. Chukunu, you can heal up for the moment. And now, of course, Hattusa is absolutely fine with us. But you can see part of the reason why it sucks to be spawning near aggressive civilizations, but there we go, rather aggressive city-states. So Frederick now, we've met him. Lovely, that's all 5 people met for this game. We're going to continue expanding up here. And we'll throw a Great Wall on that tile. How long until we grow? 1 turn, or rather 3 turns until we grow. Let's not tempt fate. Let's, actually, you know what? Let's do it. We'll do it just for the purposes of science. Just because I don't think we're going to be able to maintain this forever, because I know, as a matter of fact, we're about to go over the limit. So let's begin to prep for it. That was our scout that just found that out. So let's move up here. We could look for a deployment. Actually, we probably want to look for a bit of a heal. Let's go and just get you healed up for the moment, my friend. And we can move that up there like so. They do have an archer on the back, but we want to try and take them out. But here, so we're growing the Great Wall now. I thought that was another unit that got taken out as well. God, I tell you what, that sound's been haunting me this game. Wonderful. Good little bit of damage. That's the consequence of standing on the clay pit, my friend. Take a whole bunch of damage right there. And here, let's try and continue baiting the damage. Is there a way? I don't think there's a way through here. We can do that. That's probably about the best you can get. He's going to fire off towards the Jukunu. We ideally want him to fire. Okay, so if we... Oh my god, I hate that button, dude. I really, really despise that button. They look so similar to me, and now I've actually got to, like, think about it. I really just shouldn't do it. So we do 1 shot here, 1 shot here, and then we should be able to get it next turn. We're healing on this one. Okay, so this is what I want to find out. So let's go ahead and accept everything here, because we're doing this a little bit for science right now. So let's make sure everything is happy across the Empire. Okay, so if we... What should happen here is this should go from 45 to 76. Or it depends on the mechanic, though. But I think right here, it should increase. But I don't know whether or not it's going to be counting it or not. It didn't. Okay, so you can complete a Great Wall on the same turn that you actually grow. So now what we're going to do... So we want to continue with the Great Wall. We want it to grow as large and as in charge as it possibly can. So I think we'll probably come up this way. We could also look to come down and connect it in with the capital. So the capital is probably going to look to go up and around like this, up, because that's the third ring there. So let's see if we can connect that. Okay, hold on. Let's throw some pins out here. So we'll do Great Wall on this tile, and then a Great Wall on this tile. It's hard to see because the city center's right there. And then we could do Great Wall here. Yeah, okay, so that works perfectly. So let's go ahead and connect these two right now. Get this wall in, and we'll do a Great Wall, 1 turn. So we've also now got our first suzerain bonus, so we're just going to take Philosopher's Stone. We've already got a unique improvement, so we're not going to worry about the step pyramid. We're not going to get that good a value out of it, even though I'm sure there's probably spaces where we could afford to get it down. So now we can choose, we're going to take the gold here. I think it makes the most sense. And now, hopefully... Oh, we should have been using the focus fire button. That's okay, it's not a huge deal. We are going to get rid of Shengle. Now, we could befriend them. Now, speaking of befriending, let's go ahead. Let's give him something else. Actually, let's take a look at the yields right now. So, with regard to the yields, we are actually doing quite well. I think Charlemagne's probably going to be the best target when it comes to some stealing. So, let's go ahead and hit him with the double. And that was the sound of somebody just sending a trade route to us. Yes, he's established a new trade route to Chengdu, which is lovely. Let's go ahead and... So we should be able to kill that this turn. Okay, wonderful. And now we can do that, which is going to give us production. So we can actually build something in here. We could go ahead and build Petra in here. I wouldn't mind it. The only thing is we're only getting like 4 tiles out of it. So, oh, that might have gone through to the capital, actually. Petra in 10 turns in the cap. Do we just do it for the sake of it? There's a part of me that thinks, okay, maybe we just do Petra for the sake of it. This is a pretty decent opportunity. There's no Great Walls that we can build, which means that if you can't build any Great Walls, then you're doing fine. By the way, that Great Wall looks amazing across the cliff. Look at that. We can, the cliff kind of goes through it. It's probably pretty hard for them to do anyway. Let's try and do Petra. Let's do Petra. Okay, so where are we going to do Petra? We could do it on this tile. We would pick up adjacencies for it anyway. That's going to be a bath. If we do Petra here, that's not terrible. I think we can do Petra on this tile. Okay, good luck, Petra, in 10 turns. We've got this coming through as well. Let's see if we can pick up a resource, because we'll look to try and send all these resources back to the capital so that we can really get this in. Hatusa, how long have you got? You got another 9 turns on you. So let's get this out here. Actually, oh, we can send the hides back. Oh, we can send the hides back. Oh, that's going to be very good for us. Okay, and now here we can look to move into Yi as well for influence on happiness buildings. So let's go ahead and change our policies out as well because we get influence on science buildings. So we'll get rid of the culture. We've got plenty of culture, but influence is always going to be welcome. This is part of the reason why the Han are so damn good. And now with regard to our growth. So I think we want to try and work it around here as much as we possibly can. Though we do want to get bonuses for our science buildings as well. So there's definitely a part of me that's thinking, okay, maybe we should do that right here instead, because we're not going to be getting to here anytime soon for the adjacency bonuses. So let's drop the garden right here. We've got Altar Brickyard, we've got the monument, we've got the granary saw pit. That's fine. We'll just throw it in there. It's more just about getting additional food. And as you can see, we're just going to continue growing at 45. At the moment, we are growing. It's literally 3 turns and then we grow. Next growth opportunity, it's right here. So we're going to take that and we can even put the Great Wall on top of it. Let's even get the Great Wall out first. So that's the power, right? Like, and this is why I'm saying I think it's actually broken, because if you say that, no, this is okay, this is acceptable, like right now, do you genuinely think that this is a reasonable amount of urban production to have, or an urban, like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 citizens that are all working within this city. You can't see it though, because it reduces the population by 1. So it doesn't look like it. But it actually is an insanely big city. It just doesn't show you the good stuff. That's the only difference. Now, how are we going to be looking to connect that? We know that that one's going down. Out here, we probably want something maybe even a little bit closer in here. You could go for something like this. I just don't know if these are going to be able to connect to the network, because I think you should technically be able to go through Babylon to connect up here. So we'll test that out. We'll see how we go. I think with regard to this settlement, we'll go on this tile that was sailing through right there, which was lovely. And now we can choose between currency, bronze working, or the wheel. Now, we don't need influence because we've got so many unique civics that are going to be providing us influence, so we don't have to worry about the villa just yet. Bronze working is going to help out a huge amount as well. That'll give us lots of production. But as you can see, what's an extra 2 production going to be? An extra 3 production, 4 production. When you look at these tiles, when you look in these cities, and you see just how damn good they are, like there's a lot to be. There's a lot of good stuff that's in here already. So I think maybe even currency might be the best bet, just to get markets online sooner. The sooner you get markets online, then the sooner you're going to be growing in these towns. Now, speaking of getting these towns online, we need to grow out here ASAP. One of the things that you can do is if you're going to be growing, you can buy a Great Wall, but we don't have gold yet. We do have gold in the Empire, so we can look to take it. That might actually be a smart move. So let's consider that. We've got Hattusa that's about to come online as well. So we're going to look to grow up on this tile right here. 7 turns, or rather 9 turns until we grow our next time. And now we've got our lovely timed bit of extra production. That'll push us up now with Petra even further. And you can hold. Does that mean, do we build a world wonder in here as well? Since we're, you know, since everything else is coming online, we could go for hanging gardens. I wouldn't mind that at all. Where are we even going to put a hanging gardens? Like, I guess we just, can we put it on this tile? That's technically adjacent to a river. We can. We don't get any bonuses out of it, but hey, it's hanging gardens at the end of the day. Might as well take it. All right, let's see. We'll put hanging gardens up here first. Let's complete the wall first. All right, hides. Let's get these connected to the network. So that is out of the trade network right now because it's too far. But when this comes up, so if we take a look, yeah, so it says settlements not connected to the trade empire, onto the trade network. And here, our army commander, we can bring it back. You can just sit in the capital for the moment. I feel like Petra's going to go any second, though, so I'm just going to keep an eye out. So Bursa from Tecumseh. So now, if we settle this, just to do a little bit of base building, we go, so we go library here, monument here, or even over here, and then we can do, like, brickyards on this side. So let's go ahead. We'll do that. And for our resources, we'll take this one. This is a trap. Just keep in mind, that's a trap. Yeah, now it shows the food. It didn't show the food before. There we go. So we want to minimize the amount of food that we've got coming through. And we'll take the military aid. Thank you very much. And now back towards here. Oh, did Hanging Gardens get completed? Hanging Gardens? Where did Hanging Gardens go? Okay. Hanging Gardens just disappeared. Guys, can we get... Where did our Hanging Gardens go? I saw Bursa. I didn't see Hanging Gardens go. Is it bugged? Maybe it's bugged. Okay, let's just put in another wonder. We might as well. We could do Great Stelly. I don't mind Great Stelly. I mean, there's not a whole lot of stuff in here that we could really do. Let's just go for a meal. Oh, a meal bell's going to have to break something, though. Do Shuriken. All right, we'll just do Shuriken. Why not? We'll do Shuriken. See if we can get it up. We've got another settlement that's up here. Now, we could look to come and settle this, because if we take a look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we could settle like that tile right there, and then gather all these resources, and he's not upset at us. And it kind of keeps the cohesion of the empire. So I definitely think that is viable. So, oh, these have been connected, by the way. Oh, I forgot to transfer them into the main city, into the capital. Disappointing. Disappointing. Camels? Do we take camels or do we take gold? This city is going to be growing in 8 turns. In 8... Ooh! In 8 turns, we will be able to afford it. I don't know if we're going to be able to afford it in time, though. How much gold can we actually get coming through? Because if we take a look now, the camels don't really change anything for us. But it does mean that we'd be able to reallocate right now. We'd be able to move this out of this city. Which, hold on. Is it just me, or has this library been building for a long time? I'm just going to say it right now. I feel like this library's been building for a really long time. How is... You're up to 76. Yeah, that's fine. Let's put that first. No, you know what? I want to see the library. And instead of doing the gold here, let's do the camels. And with the camels, let's now move these into the capital. We're even moving the gypsum into the capital, which is like a big no-no. And we'll move this over as well. That pushes the cap to 45, which means we're now 4 turns on Petra. So we'll absolutely take that for the moment. Let's go scout this out, because I think there's quite a bit of land back here. Actually, maybe we should send a scout to the other side of the earth. There are so many settlements that I want to actually build that we just haven't really done yet. Okay, it's a bit risky right here. 3 turns until Petra and Durusharkan are complete. And that was a mistake. I always make the mistake of moving into someone's zone of control, thinking that you have to move across it to get affected by it. But it's not. It's just you need to be near it, and it will get you. Okay, so we've now grown again in this city. So if we take a look, so this town is going to start growing really quickly. So now we're at 76. So here we've just taken this resource. So what we want to do is we now want to take this one. Oh, we can't actually take this because this is all going to be urban districts. So this is going to be our next Great Wall. I think we want to build the Great Wall before we build the Durusharkan. It's a little bit... Oh, it's so tempting not to, but at the same time, I really want to try and just maximize this as much as we possibly can, just to really show it off. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? Like, this video is not about... Well, I mean, it's about building some big boy empires, that's for sure. But it's about making sure we do it the right way. So it's about making sure that we maximize our Great Wall.
Sedentary life. All
right, there's Petra. We got it. So we got ourselves some good... Have a look at that tile, dude. Wow, that is 13 yield on that. Far out. That is incredible. Let's get ourselves some Great Walls up. We need to get Great Walls up ASAP. Yeah, we do. And was that the sound of war? Hold on, are you guys at war right now? No, everybody's friendly. It's actually a really friendly lobby, which is interesting to see. Okay, so now we can get our next Great Wall over here. And we can also finally get gemstones. It's taken a while, but let's go ahead and put the gemstones. Let's actually move these around to a more reasonable place. So we'll go grab the gemstones. We'll put them in here. We don't need to worry about the capital anymore. It's got Petra in there, so that's going to be lovely. So we'll move the wool in. We'll shuffle everything around, and we can even put this in Luoyang, because as you can see, it's going to grow next turn. And we can actually... So now that it's got everything in here that it needs, we can just start going to town with the growth. So let me show you what that looks like. Let's go ahead and we'll grab... do we go bronze working? I think we could go bronze working. Probably makes sense to go bronze working just in case. And now, with regard to the capital, we can actually... I tell you what, the capital's a little bit sad. I'm going to be real with you guys. So if we were going to put... Where is it getting the... Oh, it's getting the +1 bonus from the city center. So let's help this guy out a little bit. We want the market. We want the monument. That's an altar. We've got brickyard saw pit, so granary will go in here as well. But it doesn't have to go in here. We can just put it over there. So let's go ahead. We'll put the monument on that tile. We'll put the market on this tile. We'll put the granary here. Oh, the garden can go on that tile. And then we can weave in the all of the other things. So there we go. We got a whole bunch of production that's in here. We could also look to get more merchants out, now that I think about it. We probably want to try and do that sooner rather than later. All right, let's add in... Do we even want to add markets in at this point? Probably not. We want to come down and around like this. So let's go ahead. We'll do that. Let's make a bath. We don't want to do a bath on that tile. Oh, that's so awkward, man, that he took that away from us there. So we'll do a garden instead. We get the +1 adjacency from Petra. I'm more tempted just to come around the outside like this. All right, now we're going to start city building out the wazoo. There's Duasharikan that's completed. Next Great Wall, let's throw it down. When do we grow next? 76. So we're growing in 2 turns here. So we can grab the market. We can grab the garden. So we'll do garden and then we'll grab the market. Though, I think over here, I mean, you can technically, actually, that's where we want to be putting it. I think we want to put something here, then the bath. This is awkward because that's a +3. So let's go ahead. We'll put the market on that tile. Yeah, we'll do market, then bath, and then we'll do something over there. Okay, so now we've got our next growth. So let's go ahead and we're going to grow on this tile. And we'll put the Great Wall on that. We'll move the Great Wall up. As you can see, it's going to take 2 turns. Though, is it really going to take us that long to grow? It's quite a while. Let's focus on getting our food out then. We want to build up our food as much as we can in that city. And we've now got our next decision to make. So let's move this over to the capital. We'll move these into this town. And next turn, oh, you can see next turn we can actually do it. Oh, the good news is, oh yeah, this is a fun little thing that you can do. Check this out. Oh, what? Why did, oh my, no way, dude. Get out. Are you serious? Did you see that? Did you see that? I'm sorry, can I reload? I want to show that. Oh, we can't, we can reload, but it's just going to mean that we have to do the whole turn again. It said 2 turns to grow, and we rolled over the turn, and then it just immediately grew for us. That's frustrating. That's really frustrating, because you know what I was going to do? I was going to convert it to a city, and when you convert it to a city, it increases the amount of food that you need to grow. That is so sad, dude. That is so damn sad. This poor town is going to take forever to grow now. It's not really. We're still going to be abusing the hell out of it, so don't worry. Great Wall. Let's chuck it up here. Bring it all the way to the top. I wish I could just drop and drag it all the way up, but we can't. Okay, so let's come out here and think about how we're going to be building this. So we're going to be building urban to the south, and then we're building Great Wall to the north. So let's go ahead and grab these. So I think we can probably do this tile right here. And we've got our first theft that's come through on Charlemagne. It's just given us a whole bunch of science. So get back on out there and start stealing again. And now we can move into organized military. And we probably want to get ourselves another settler out. Probably even another 2 at this point. Where do we even want to go? I think realistically, if we were going to do it, we'd probably look for something up here. Just because we've got the gypsum as well as the wool. Though we do have hides. Or we would look down towards here. We want to try and get more camels. We've got the first. Actually, yeah, we want to go after those camels. In fact, we want to go after those camels very, very soon. Let's go after them right now. I tell you what, this is always how my production queues end up looking, where everything is just kind of stacked on top of it. Just because of, well, we know what's important. Everything's important. And because everything is important, we have to do our best. Now, interestingly, we don't use our merchants, not until the very end. We have to save up the merchants and just leave them until the very end of the era. Because if we use them now, it's going to push us to grow even faster. So we don't want to do that. So now that we've pretty much finished all the Great Walls in this settlement here. It's turned 72, and this settlement is producing 35 culture, 38 production, a ridiculous amount of stuff that is coming out of here right now. This is ridiculous. And as you can see, there's some pretty good world wonders in here we could potentially go for as well. But let's start by taking the gold. I think that's going to be important for us. We also want to convert this over to a city. We didn't do that previously, so we can do that now. And we can probably look to start moving across a couple of resources. Now, what are we really doing in Luoyang City? Not a whole lot in here. We're going to be looking for the granary as well as for the guard. Oh, we got the garden in. Can't put the bath down. We can do the altar. Doesn't really matter where we stack it up. And then we basically want to come around to this side. I tell you what, this is the most awkwardly placed city. Very, very unfortunate. It's not really doing anything for the poor guy as well. That's the other thing. Like, it's just a bad deal, man. It's a real bad deal. Shouldn't have done that deal, my friend. Okay, so when it comes to growing here, we're going to take this. And this is hopefully going to be our last growth in here. We've got another 17 times before we can grow. So we need to make sure that the gold starts really generating right now. So let's go into a Great Wall. Now, we can do a Great Wall out here, or we can do a brickyard. So I think that's probably going to be the right call. So let's go ahead. We want to do... How do we want to do this? Yeah, we want to go brickyard here, then library there. Yeah, that's how we're going to do it. So we'll go brickyard, and we will move these resources across right now. So we'll go for a couple of gypsum. Arguably, we can even just bring most of these resources across like that. I think that's probably fine. We'll move this out of the cap as well. What is that sound? Did you guys hear that little sound? Is it our relationship leader agenda? What's your agenda, Frederick? Likes leaders with wonders in their capital. Dislikes those with buildings in their capital. That seems like a pretty difficult one to satisfy as well. Like, you're going to be building buildings. I wish that when it came to leader agendas, they were a bit more like, you know, you're able to satisfy them or you're not able to satisfy them based on the things that you're doing rather than like just playing the game. Okay, we've got Mundo Perdito that's been completed, so not really a world wonder that we're going for. Are there any world wonders that we could look to take right now? There are so many world wonders that we could look to take right now, but the thing is, we need to build so much stuff in our capital at the moment anyway, so it's like, is it really worth doing? I don't think so. We'll be looking to get drama and poetry in as well, just because we want to be building up quite a bit of our amphitheaters soon. We're about to unlock them, so we need to make sure that we keep that in the back of our minds. And now we can think about adding in our... That is a great little spot. Now, we can also put the bath on that tile as well. So let's not do... Yeah, we'll just do that, and then we'll put the blacksmith on this tile here. Okay, settler. Let's go. Beautiful little spot. There's single spot available for... Oh, no. Get out. You can't be doing this to us in the same game twice, my friend. Please, no. Please not again. I mean, that's kind of fair game, but still, like, please. Now, when it comes to this city right here, that's going to be a connector. So this one can't do any more. That's all good. So we can pretty much just take the rest of these tiles in here. So this one is basically done when it comes, because nothing else in here can actually become a Great Wall tile. It's just not possible, because it can't be adjacent. Like, technically this could, but then you can't finish the loop. And we want to finish the loop. So let's just go ahead. We'll grab these tiles here, and we'll put that into the capital. Though technically they're making the same amount of science, so it's not a huge difference. Okay, I'm a little bit worried about down here. We'll go ahead and grab our altar as well. And then we can do our library on this tile, and then we can do the monument down here. So that's the game plan. Please don't settle. Please don't. Okay, he's moving over this way, which is fine. We'll let him settle over there. We want to get the camels just basically because we need to get Abbasid. Abbasid together with this combo is just ridiculous. It's not even fair. Just because of the way that Abbasid functions. So we'll now look to pick up another bonus in here. We can then... No, we can't put the bath down. That's fine. That'll do us. You can hear the burning arrows firing off from Tecumseh, and that was Bulgaria unlocked with that. And we probably want to get some units down here just to make sure that we're going to be okay. So let's make sure that we reinforce. And from here, we can look to go into maybe even Gate of All Nations is not a terrible idea. We've got 41 production, so the barracks is not going to offer us a huge amount of production here. So even though it's tempting, I'm thinking it makes it a little bit more sense to go into something like Wee Young Palace. So let's go ahead and do that. Where are we going to put the Wee Young Palace down? We could go and put it down just over here. Doesn't really matter where it goes, because it's only going to be giving adjacencies to the altar as well as to the garden. Actually, it's better than nothing. Let's do it. We'll make it adjacent. 6 turns in our second city. Why not for the Wee Young Palace? We've also got the Gate of All Nations that we can potentially put down now as well. Chang'an, by the way, still growing in 76 population, or 76 food. Just keep that in mind. This one's going to start going crazy now, just simply because we can't actually keep this one down anymore. So that's absolutely fine for it to do it. We'll also look to go... I think Nalanda's probably not a bad idea. We've got plenty of plains out here that we can take advantage of. So let us continue the growth. And how are we doing out here? I think we're looking absolutely fine. We want to settle right there. I tell you what, it's going to be a bit difficult. Okay, he's befriending this one, and no one's befriending Retinue? Do we do it? I think let's just do it. What else are we going to spend it on? We're probably going to spend it on... We probably want to do a couple more steals. So let's go ahead and do that. And then maybe we can just squeeze it in. I think that's probably not a bad idea. All right, let's bring our commander down. And let's take that settle right now, immediately. Okay, so this is back at the cap, so we'll take this little spot here and Great Wall tile over there. Is that a palace? No, it's a bath. Okay, so we've got this side done. So we can also look to loop it around like this. But we do need to keep in mind that we're obviously looking to build world wonders in the capital. We've got a lot of production in here. Just keeping in mind that we have the Petra. So because of that, a lot of production. We want to try and utilize these tiles as much as we possibly can. So let's go and grab our camels. That gives us the Abbasid, which is lovely. And we want to make sure that we are growing towards tiles that don't have any growth on them. So let's do that. We also want to start getting our libraries up. Have we got our libraries up everywhere? I think we've actually got 4 libraries up, don't we? So it's kind of crazy that we've got 4 libraries up, but we're only sitting at 58 science. It definitely feels a little bit on the low side. Gate of All Nations. We could do the Gate of All Nations in this city. How about we do production? This is a +3. So it's not the best tile, obviously, but... There's a 4 over here. But I was kind of thinking maybe we want to run up along this side like that with the Great Wall. I think that's probably going to be the play. And so we want to keep that open. So let's not do that. And we'll just take the +3 instead. And then maybe... Do we just do the Gate of All Nations? What if we just did the Gate of All Nations straight up? Maybe that's the play. Let's do it. We've got more camels that we can add, so we'll just go ahead and throw them into this city. We'll roll over this turn. Okay, that's the library. Next library complete, so that'll take us from 58. Oh, no, never mind. Let's hold for the moment. So that'll take us from 58 up to how much science? Probably like 65? That's a little steal that we've had. 66. Quite a bit of units that are in here right now. Now, we are befriending these guys. No, we're not befriending these guys. That's right. We didn't do it. Are you killing them? Isn't your whole agenda that you hate people that kill the city-states? What is going on right now? That's not cool. All right, we picked up some more science, but they did catch us. So we're going to make sure that we just go in and immediately do another steal. We're going to be unlocking amphitheaters on the next turn. We can't build our monument here just because he's currently sitting on that tile. Now, where can we put the barracks down? We could put the barracks down on top of it. I don't actually mind that. It wouldn't be terrible. But let's look to put something down over here as well. We could do a saw pit. So let's go ahead and put the saw pit on that tile. And then we could do the granary on that tile as well. We could look to do the garden, the market, the Great Wall. Actually, let's do the Great Wall. Oh my god. Hold on. Did we not build? Oh yeah, we never built the Great Wall because we never needed to because this bloody city grew. That's right. Okay, so we want to get food sorted before we do anything else. So let's also... There could be some good food tiles out here, but at the same time, we kind of want to keep everything grouped in together. We don't want to go too far because, yeah, we'll just put it down like that. So let's do that. That way we can worry about that less. We probably just want to move this really far. I kind of get a bit annoyed with these in the late game, having to come in and check in on them every single turn. We'll go to mathematics. We're on turn 81 at the moment, so we're a little bit behind when it comes to science in this game right now. But it still feels decent. Saw pit coming through. So we're going to be growing or converting over this town. We could technically put a Great Wall out here. We ideally need to, but I feel like some of these towns are probably just gone, right? Like at the end of the day, right? Like we had to grow in this town in the first place. And there we go. Anyway, we had to grow in this town anyway, just because of to get to the hides, right? We needed to take the food, and that's going to speed it up so much more. Okay, now here... we could look to continue. Oh, yeah, we could do something really cute down here as well. So let's go ahead and do that. And that gives us another tile that we can actually build on. So we can put the Great Wall on that tile and bring it up. So that's going to be in 8 turns, and we grow in 7. So we need to prioritize. Do we go Gate of All Nations? Do we go for the wall? What do we do here? It's a tough spot. Let's jump on this tile and deploy all of our units here and look to clean this up so that we can actually build that monument now. Sounds like we've just got another level, so we'll go ahead and grab our next level. But the defensive squad is doing very well. So I think that there's a part of me that just says for like a city like this, like you're gone at this point. So I'm not too fast. Like we can even just bring our migrants up here later. But yeah, when you do take early growth like that, there's really not much you can do about it.
Heaven is last.
We Young Palace is completed, which is lovely. So that is going to be giving us even more influence. So we're up to 115 influence per turn here. And we could look to go for another World Wonder, or we could look to go into a Merchant. I think that's probably a smart move. Try and connect up some additional cities here. Let's see if we can bring these down and fire down. Indeed we can. Got a nice little defensive spot in here. We could probably look at upgrading these guys as well. Wonderful. Now, do we finally take the cotton in here? No. No, we don't. Because if we take the cotton, then it means that we can't build on top of it. So let's take this tile instead. And we'll grab another Great Wall, throw it down here. We can do a blacksmith and a barracks, and we can do them together. So probably on this tile right here, it's adjacent to the city center. Probably makes the most sense. We've got the garden market, the saw pit, the brickyard, and the monument. So that needs to be a villa. So we'll get that down sooner rather than later. Though we do have Nalanda coming up shortly. So just keep that in mind. And once again, growing out here. So realistically, there's not a lot of things that we could do. We could look to go into specialists, actually. Specialists wouldn't be terrible here. So let's go ahead and we'll take this specialist. And we'll go ahead. Oh my gosh, that's a +8 barracks somewhere in here. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. It's right. It's here. Now, the thing is, we want to actually save this for our amphitheater. So that's what we're going to do. So even though it's a nice little bit of bump to production, I think it's probably better that we just try and keep everything synergized correctly. So out over here, we want to try and stack up our specialists. We could do Colossus in this little lake right here. To get to Colossus, if we take a look, we needed to go into skill trades. So we kind of messed that up a little bit. We can also come up into entertainment. That's probably not a bad idea. We should do that after we go into Nalanda. Nalanda's really good because it gives us that scientific point. So we want to try and get that if possible. Okay, next trade route. Is there anything that's really valuable here? Not really. Maybe the Kaelin, arguably, is not terrible. We could also just go into the cap. Tasali gives us gold. Let's go into there, just because it could be decent. Okay, so we've now got the ability to get our next city online, so it's turn 85. So let's go ahead and do that. So this one right here. So when it comes to building, we'll be building all of our urban districts here, and all of our citizens, or all of our, sorry, urbans are going to be here. Sorry, rural are going to be here. Urban are going to be on this side. So let's go ahead, convert it over to a city, and transfer some resources in. Let's see how much we can actually do here. I think we can afford to bring everybody across now, just because we want to get these guys online as quickly as we possibly can. And that is a good looking little city, isn't it? How much culture? Oh yeah, we want to be keeping this in here. Look at that. That is incredible. And because we've also got the specialist, then we also want to be putting that in Chengdu. Okay, so this one is now up and running. So the first order that we're going to be doing is looking to grow. So I think that's probably a smart move. So we could look to get a bath in. We could do a bath on these tiles, or we could look to do a bath down here. So I'm thinking that when it comes to our wall, we want to do something like this tile. No, we can't. That's got ivory. So here, 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 across like that. And then we can do one that comes up, and then we can do another one that goes down and connects down to here. So let's go ahead and do that. Do we want to loop around? Well, we can't technically loop around to here. So if we want to get those garden and markets in, we're going to have to do that. So let's start off. We'll start off with some production. Now, there's a hostile unit on that tile, so we can't technically do it. So let's start with the growth. Start with growth. It's a bit of an awkward spot right here. Is he just... Don't tell me he's just standing on that tile. We're going to have to move back and deal with him. That is annoying. Okay, and deploy, and then fire. We'll get him next turn. Okay, so from here, let's see if... there's a chance right here that we can actually... If we can actually get Colossus. Let's double check and see if it's still available. It is still available. Let's do it. And we can move into Nalanda here as well. So, do we go for Nalanda? Maybe we go for Nalanda in the capital? I think we're going to have to go for Nalanda in the cap. So let's do it. We could do it out here, or we could do it on this tile. It is a rough tile, but it's not like we're going to be working this one. So let's go ahead. We'll put Nalanda on that tile right there. And hopefully, we get ourselves Nalanda as well, which would be absolutely lovely. All right, so they're looking to do a little bit of a run, a little bit of an escape here. So let's make sure that we catch them. We just want them out of our territory. We're going to go into the production for wonders. And what do we take here? We're probably going to want the science as well as the cultural buildings. We probably want to take the culture ones right now. I think we probably want to bring those guys up across the network. I'll tell you what, this city-state's causing a little bit of havoc here. I'm tempted to befriend them just because it's going to buff up everything else that we've got. There's not going to be much that's really available for us at this point. Like, we're not really going to get a whole lot of value out of it, but it's better than nothing, right? I mean, what else are we going to be spending our resources on? We do have a couple of steals coming through soon, actually. You know what? Let's save it for the steals. Gate of All Nation. Gate of All Nation. In the third city. Lovely. Turn 88. A little bit late, but we'll still take it. I think we probably want to play into specialists here. I think the specialist is going to be very high value. Do we take the specialist? Oh, it's such a hard decision. Let's take the specialist. The sooner we get it, the sooner it's done. Barracks, we'll drop the barracks down. We'll just throw it. Oh, it's so hard not throwing it in this tile. Like, it just feels bad not throwing it in the higher guaranteed tiles. Okay, let's throw down a couple more Great Walls. Just because these are actually incredibly good yields that we've got here. And we've got another one as well. So we'll throw down the library first and foremost. So let's put it down on that tile. I don't know whether we can actually do that. Is it because it's a scout we can actually just build through it? It might just be that with the scout you can build through it. Because I know if that was a military unit, you wouldn't be able to. This should hopefully be Tasali. It looks like it is. 300 gold. Absolutely welcome. Okay, they've moved out, which is lovely. And now we can think about where exactly... So I think I mean, either of these tiles. Doesn't really matter which one you take. And here, we're just going to be moving into... Oh, we could have gone into silver. 261 culture. Lovely. Let's go and do another steal. Does that also give us a migrant as well? It does. So now we've got another migrant that we are able to add to our collection. We are indeed collecting migrants. So let's put him to sleep. We'll work out what we want to do with these guys later. But it might be that they come up over to Lindsay or something like that. And we just, you know, slowly work them in. Okay. Ooh, did we just grow? No, we didn't. We're okay. I thought we may have accidentally grown, but we didn't. We've still got some time here. We've also got a blacksmith that we can put down. So let's go and put the blacksmith down first. We should still be able to get that in before the growth. So that's the main goal. Though we are about to grow onto this tile. And that's going to make us grow faster. So now we need to put the Great Wall up a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. And we've also just stolen some science. So we're going to go ahead and do another steal. We are stealing out the wazoo here. And now where do we look to put down our amphitheater? I think we probably just throw it down over here. Like, we're not too fussed at this point about where these go. The main thing is that we're really looking to push our culture up through these Great Walls and just demonstrate how silly this can actually get. Okay. Decent little cleanup so far. All right, hopefully that's it with the city-states. Oh my lord, look how far away he is, Tecumseh. And how does it settle? How does he... Dude, excuse me. There is no way there is a road connecting this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 ivory, 16, 17, 18 tiles. No. I knew that they got... I know that the deity AI gets some buffs, but that's a little bit silly. There is no way that should be connected to your trade network. That is ridiculous. That is so damn silly. I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it. Okay, do we need to throw in a Great Wall here? I think we might need to throw in the Great Wall, because I'm kind of curious to see if we're actually going to grow to our next population here, or if we're going to go up or not here. Because even if we do... Yeah, we should be... Let's test it. Let's test it. Okay, so we've got the library down out here, which is the main goal. Oh, we were going to put the monument on this tile, weren't we? That's okay. We can put it down over here instead. So now let's think more about this. So we want the bath. That's fine. And now we want brickyard. We want barracks. We want blacksmith. We want all of the production. So let's go ahead and just grab them all. We'll put the saw pit down as well. Blacksmith. And the barracks. And that's looking pretty good. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you shortly, my friend. Let's actually just take that guy out. No, we can't take him out. No way. Oh, was that Nalanda? That was Nalanda, wasn't it? Turn 92. I mean, it's about time. Frederick Baroque finishing Nalanda. He's not there. Where is he? Yeah, he's over here, isn't he? So we don't actually see his lands. But that's okay. Okay, +2 production on the blacksmith or +2 culture. Obviously, we want the production. So let's go ahead and we'll take the production. And we need to build a quarter with an academy and a blacksmith. Not particularly two that you'd like to pair together, but we could go do it over here instead. So instead of building the barracks, we can just build the... oh, it's an academy. Actually, no, I take it back. We do want to build those two together. So we'll make sure that we build the barracks on top of the library in this settlement. So let's go ahead. We'll grab the... Oh, my lord. Did I just see +8? I did indeed. Man, that's some crazy yields that you get from these. It's so tempting to put them all together. We've actually got the academy that we can put down right now. So let's go ahead. We'll get a whole bunch of our buildings out. We'll throw the amphitheater down as well. We could look to put the amphitheater down. I think we probably just want it next to the city center. We'll try and keep everything nice and clustered around here. And now we can move into the wheel. We can look to get our villas online, academy. We're going to throw it down on top of this as well. And that's going to be a nice big boost to our science. So we're happily going to take that. It will mean that we hit future tech quite fast because our science is already in a pretty decent spot here. And the sooner we hit future tech, then the sooner obviously the game is going to end. So it could be something that you probably should be avoiding. But let's go ahead. We'll allow it anyway. After my last little game that I played around with not the Jukunu, but rather the avoiding academies, I don't ever want to be able to do that again. Okay, so now we've grown, and indeed, yeah, we're up to 126, which I think is fine. Actually, this was a mistake, because we're not going to be able to connect that in. We can connect these ones, but we can't connect that one. So does that mean... No, we can't actually build that one out. That's fine. Can we put something on top of this? Out over here? Oh, we got Temple of the Sun. I completely forgot about Temple of the Sun. So where do we want... I guess we just take cotton at this point. We could also just take the production, seeing as we don't have Nalanda. Let's take that for the moment. Temple of the Sun... Sorry, Pyramid of the Sun is incredibly powerful. I think we just go ahead and put that down. And just hope that we get it. And we're actually going to put it out here. Or we could put it on this tile. Because that's going to go there. Yeah, let's put it on this tile right here. You know, one thing I just realized that we haven't done all this game is we haven't made any Shitafus. yet. We've been spending a lot of our production on other things, you may have noticed. How are there still units down here, man? They just don't stop. Now, speaking of not stopping, we do need to actually get some more decent production in here. That's a +6. We're gonna put out additional production down here. Barracks over here as well. Let's do it. Man, it's kind of wild, like, the amount of units that have been coming through here. Okay, the city-state did get taken out in the end. I had my suspicions that was going to be the case. I wonder if it was Tecumseh that actually took the city-state out. You know, I wouldn't really be surprised. It looked like he was coming with a vengeance. So let's go and grab that tile, and then we'll put the Great Wall over there. We grow in 14 turns, so we should be fine in that regard. And we can hold here for the moment. So we've now got the ability to add in our next city. So here, how are we doing on production? We're only at 38 production. Is that with everything in here? What's taking you so long to get up and producing? Was it because it was because we built the garden and the bath. See, this was our mistake. We shouldn't have done these. Because now we want to transition a town over to a city, and it's like, do you really want to right now? You could, technically, but you don't have the existing infrastructure for it up. And I think we're probably going to be looking at, like, Lindsay or something, but it's not really going to be doing its thing. So I'm kind of happy for that to just kind of chill for the moment. We'll allow it to keep doing its thing. And let's look for additional places that we can put down out here. I mean, there's realistically not a whole lot out here. I think we could probably look at just putting in more specialists. That's a 2 production specialists. So we'll go ahead and take that. And we'll move into navigation, I guess, for the Among Us Maui. Probably makes the most sense. No, we'll do bronze working. The extra little bit of production. Villa. That is because of the specialist that we've got there. And let's gather up everybody. We'll move over here. And now we can just hold that unit for the moment. But so far, it's been a very friendly game. I mean, realistically, I think we're in a pretty decent spot here. And I think I've been able to demonstrate, you know, in the early game, exactly how crazy this gets, right? When we look at this. And this isn't even considering, like, the defensive bonuses of this. And it definitely forces you to change the way that you play. You're not able to play... What is with these? Okay, that's why. I'm like, what is going on with these tiles right here? And all of a sudden, it made quite a bit of sense. So we might look to get... I think we'll just take the extra production. Yeah, I think it's definitely one of those things where it's like... You've got to play around it to an extent, but once it's up and once it's cooking, like, it really starts going quite ham. So let us continue. We're adding in more production here. We want to add more Great Walls in as well. Actually, now that I think about it, how long until this city grows? It just grew then. Oh, that's painful. That's a massive mistake on my part. Ooh, that's a huge mistake on my part. Whew. Too much talking, not enough playing. There you go. Colossus. Colossus got taken. Yeah, Colossus got taken. Did it just get taken? It just got taken. It literally just got taken. I was thinking to myself, you know, I really wish they would make that more obvious when a World Wonder gets taken. Especially one that, I mean, we weren't actually building it. You know, they do actually tell you if you're building it. It's like, bow, we'll give you that big sound. But otherwise, yeah, it would be nice. Let's see if we can throw in that Great Wall. We're looking to connect these two up here. That sound. It wasn't Temple of the Sun. What was it? What? I don't even know what that was. Oh, it was Terracotta Army. Okay, that's fine. We just tried it right then. Let's try Colossus, or rather Colosseum. We should be able to get Colosseum. Now, this is based on the amount of quarters that you got. And we don't have a whole lot of quarters out here. Actually, no, I do take that back. We got quite a lot of quarters. We'll be fine. I think we go for Colosseum in here. And if we put a Colosseum on this tile, it's only going to be buffing up one thing. We're already making something over here. It's going to be 3 turns. We might as well just get it in there. And, yeah, the sooner we can get it in, the better. Have we not got our monument in? We do have our monument's in the city center. Okay, so that makes it a little bit more difficult. So let's go ahead. We'll grab our villa. We'll stick it on this tile. We want to stay away from the volcano, obviously. I think we could probably look to get a Great Wall tile out here as well. We can even throw more Great Walls down here. This wouldn't be terrible. So we should definitely consider that. Let's go into the Silk. Silk, we can move across because this has got more culture and additional growth out here. So we'll just go ahead and grab this tile. So I think that's definitely going to be the game plan. Once we finish production out here, so 2 turns, and then we'll be growing up into this city. We also want to get another settler out because we're at 7 out of 8 population. There was a settlement up here that we could do. We could probably still technically do it. Temple of the Sun now complete, or Pyramid of the Sun. This one here, not bad either. I think ideally we want to get another scout out here. Did we have a scout? We did have a scout. Explain to me how the AI... Dude, I wish I knew, man. The magic inside the head of the AI sometimes. That is incredible. So let's bring this back. We want to try and scout these out because we would love to send some trade routes down here. The sooner we get trade routes out, we haven't really been playing into it. I think this is just one of those things where it's like it's a consequence of a lack of production. The more production that you've got, then the less that this happens. But obviously, even in a game like this where we've just had so much production, it's still not enough production. There's always more things that you can be doing. We could have been making more traders. We could have been making more Shida-Fus. And at this point, it's just like, you know, there's so much. So speaking of Shida-Fu, maybe we get a couple of them out. Maybe we don't need that villa just yet. So let's go ahead and grab a couple of them, and then we'll grab the villa. Probably a decent idea. We could add the market in. We'll throw it down with the villa because we know that the monument is over on this tile initially. And now we can go for the extra culture. And at this point, we can start to look at moving into construction on science buildings, and also we'll grab the happiness. Is there anything else in here that we could justify getting rid of? Oratory, probably not a whole lot of value here. We'll go for coinage because that's going to get increasingly better as the game goes on. And now in this town, so our Great Wall's been somewhat completed. We need to continue expanding it. So how are we going to expand it? If we go to these two tiles, it will end. But that doesn't mean... Yeah, so we won't actually be able to bring that one around. So we could look to try and just... This guy can have his own Great Wall. Let's do it that way. Monument down over here. That's a nice little +2. We've also got one over there. We want to make sure it's not near the volcano, so we know that there is a volcano here. So yeah, we could come out over here. That's not terrible either. Probably a better idea, because we could even do something like, we could loop it all the way down here. Actually, maybe that's the play. Yeah, let's loop it all the way down around like that. So let's throw that there. And then we'll put the villa in here. And where does the bath go down? The bath, oh, the bath wants to come down on that same tile. Oh, the bath can go down here. That's not a problem at all. Okay. Colosseum now online. How are we doing with regard to our points? So at the moment, we're 6 out of 7. Military, not doing that hot. Science, we've got a way to go. And economic, we're getting there as well. But we will fill these points in as the game gets longer, as we get closer to the end. So that's our next growth. So let's go ahead and put our Great Wall on that tile. Remember, we don't have to connect them. And we are saving our academy for this tile, though I'm tempted to put a bath on there. And amphitheater. What a beautiful amphitheater that is. Oh, the Zhangji. I completely forgot about this. There you go. And we've stolen the commerce civic, which is lovely. So now let's look to get some of these additional codexes online. We're doing some stealing from the Charlemagne. And fishing key, we can throw those both down here. We could also look to get a couple merchants. I really wouldn't mind additional merchants right now, especially out of a city like this, which has got a huge amount of production. Okay, so I think now that we've completed all of our production out here, we're at 57 production, which is a bit more reasonable. We can move these guys on now into our next potential city. So let's go ahead and throw down some Great Walls. So we'll do that, because obviously we made the mistake. Now, I think we just want to instead go to this one. We're just going to leave this guy over here. There's even a part of me that is tempted right now to just buy a saw pit in here and just convert this to a... Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. And we'll just convert this to a... We could convert it to a trade outpost. That wouldn't be terrible. But for the moment, what we'll do is we'll convert it to a mining town. And what that's going to do is that's going to increase the amount of gold. So we're basically just making an extra 10 gold per turn now because of that. So let's go ahead and convert this to a city. And let us... go and add in some new resources for it. So we are now starting to really pump resources here. Absolutely lovely. And we can go and put this in. Keep it growing. Okay, so we want to get... In 11 turns we grow. So where are we putting these down? So we're putting a barracks and a blacksmith on this tile. So let's start off barracks, blacksmith. And we want to do a brickyard on this one. So let's do these one at a time, just because we want to try and kick these out. And you can see we're starting to really build up these migrant numbers here. Now, all of these are going to be able to be turned into specialists eventually, which is going to be absolutely ridiculous. We've got the first of the guys coming through here. The guys. We need to make sure that there is space. So let's go ahead and move. We should be able to click on him now. Yep, there we go. So it's 2 happiness, which is the worst one that there is. We'll take the codex as well. So we're starting to build up our codex numbers now, and we're going to... I think we probably want to take the science here, just because our science is a little bit lower than our culture. And we're starting to really... Like, as you can see, we're pretty much finished on the culture tree right now, and we're at turn 105. This is a very early finish on that culture tree. We might go into the extra science from our specialists and have a look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. So we'll look to pick those up. At the moment, we also probably want to keep stealing at the moment, just because, well, there's no reason not to. It means we also get the extra, pilgrims. Sorry, extra pilgrims. That's my Age of Empires coming in. The extra migrants that are coming through. We could even look to grow these towns out. Actually, that's probably not a bad idea, because these aren't going to be growing at all. So, like, you're very much incentivized to grow these out. And you could always turn these into cities in the next era as well. That's the other thing to note. You don't have to have the Great Walls. I think if you're going to take advantage of them, 100% do. Try and maximize them. But if not, I think you can just kind of play around them. But I'm curious how you guys feel about it, though. Because obviously, when I talk about them, I talk them up a lot and talk about how great they are. Do you think they're that good? Is it really that good? Let's take a look. I think Oracle on that tile probably makes the most sense. And we've now got our next one. It's a celebration immediately, so that'll trigger a back-to-back celebration, so we can just pop him straight away. And we've got our trade route now coming through. That's more camels. That's additional resources that we can add in. We can probably even just put that into Chengdu. How much science is it making? Yeah, look at the science that it's making. It is absolutely worth it to do that. We should probably be putting that in as well. Then with regard to happiness, everyone is happy out the wazoo. So that's going to be fine, and we can put a little bit of extra growth in Chengdu as well. And I think that was all of our 20 resources. Indeed, it was. All 20 resources have now been slotted in. So where do we go with our next trader? Let's take a look. So let us improve trade relations, just to make sure that we can see everything here. So we've got another one up here for some hides. We've also got one here for gypsum, so let's go ahead and send in those guys. And now what we can do is do a brickyard on this tile. And now we grow here. And now we can purchase, or we can just put in a Great Wall in 2 turns. And that's going to keep our growth down in this town. Because the idea is, or this city, the idea is that we ideally want to just grow very big in every single city. But if you can't, if you do lose one, like we lost out here, you just got to let it go, right? Like that's the whole idea. That's the whole concept. You can't just, it's much more beneficial to just cut your losses in a town like this than it is to try and let it catch up, basically. So let's continue rolling over. We've got the academy, so we're going to be going for the Golden Age Academy, so we need to make sure everybody has got their academies in and is ready to go. So let's complete that last academy over here. And what have we got? We've got Mosey, who's going to be or adds an extra population in the capital. So let's hold you for the moment. We'll hold you over until the very last turn, and then we'll use you. So we've got another one that's come through. So that was Mosey. So we've got activate on an army commander to get an extra promotion. So we'll definitely take that. So in 13 turns, we will be growing. So we should be able to make it 13 turns and grow. We could look to grab our cotton here. I don't know if it's really if it's really that valuable. Let's grab more production and continue going. We've got a great wall, a couple of great walls that we can put down. So let's go ahead and do that. And I think we can probably afford to grow to the silk at this point. Actually, no, that's the tile that we want to grow to, and we want to throw our Great Wall on top of that. So let's go ahead and do that first. You can see there's quite a bit of micromanagement when you are doing a strategy like this, right? Like it's definitely taking some time. Actually, migrants in here wouldn't be that bad. The more migrants that we've got down here is actually probably a good thing, because then we can just put Great Walls on them immediately. So let's change our migrant direction, and we'll come down there, and we can look to pop those immediately. Okay, so we are growing in here. How long until we grow? 8 turns. So we can probably even look to purchase in here. But for the moment, let's just take the silk. We can send the silk over to this city. Our numbers are really starting to push quite high now. And once again, we're going to make sure that we complete the Great Wall. Now, the Great Wall is going to come along the front and then wrap around. So technically, we could have included it on this one, but it's okay. So let's make sure that we've actually clicked that Great Wall. Wonderful. We could also put a second one down over here. So we'll do that. Is that 3 tiles away? It is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we want to loop it around on the 3rd ring. Okay, our science is going to start getting a little bit out of control now. But this is one of the things that I love about this civilization, is that when it comes to the way this civ works, it just covers every single base. Its influence is crazy. Its culture is amazing. Its science is incredible. Like, everything about this civ is just next level. It is crazy how good it is. This is definitely shaping up to become our next capital, by the way. This is looking increasingly stronger and stronger. I think we'll go for this tile right here. We'll grab our next trade route, some gypsum. We can't actually throw it in right now. Do we just throw it in a random city, a random town? maybe we just take the wool out. Actually, we take the kaolin out. We put the kaolin over here, and then we put the gypsum over into G City. That makes a little bit more sense. Though, to be fair, I mean, kaolin probably is a welcome resource in a town like this. Okay, we've got our commander promotion, so let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, so maybe it wasn't a good idea to do that. Now, with regard to our Great Walls over here, we want to make sure that we stagger them. We don't want to use them all at the same time. We've got another Great Wall that we can put down, so we'll just put down a single Great Wall tile over there. And we'll also look to grab out a couple more merchants from this town and see what we can find. We want to try and spot out any additional trade routes that we potentially could have. We've also got more silk, so let's go ahead and put more silk in over here. So that's up to 71 silk. Thank you for the offer, but no thank you. And we'll take the culture. And what other options have we got? We've got the extra science from specialists. There's nothing in here that's really too strong at the moment. So we'll just take the extra science from specialists at the moment. We've got the academy that we can put in the capital. An extra 16. Actually, we probably want to look to try and grab the extra sheet of foos. I don't think we need this just yet. And are there any world wonders left that we can build? I don't think that there is. I think everything has been built at this point other than over here. Now, we haven't actually reached our 7 just yet. So we do need to be cautious about that. If we miss this world wonder, then we miss the opportunity. I mean, we're not going to go into it, but you know, we miss the opportunity for it. So let us do this. And let's put the Great Wall down on straight away. And then down here, we're going to continue adding in a blacksmith. We want to just spam out production as much as we can. And next opportunity that we get, we will actually go back and put the culture in there. So you can see our specialists are starting to get a little bit more science in here, just simply because of those bonuses. So where do we even go with regard to this? I don't actually know. I think we probably just end up taking the production. Probably makes the most sense. We'll go in for an army commander here. Actually, I think we might want to do more merchants. And let's send this guy up over here. We'll improve our trade relations. And our next migrant, we can actually put our migrant down. And let's put our next Great Wall on top of it. And then that way we can continue growing with the Great Wall. Now, we wouldn't want to put down the migrants at the same time because then that will push this number up from 139 to grow. It will push it up even higher. So we do need to be cautious about that. So just keep that in mind. So now we'll complete this wall here. And then we can grab the next one. And then we'll put the Great Wall on top of that. And then just keep in mind every single time we're doing this, we're also growing at the same time. We're still at 139 until we grow. Future Civic, next one. Why not? And we've got our next. So activate in the city to add +1 science to all codices in that city. So we'll go ahead and do that. And how many codices do we have in here? We actually don't have the... that was probably a mistake because we don't have our academy in here. There was probably more value that we could have gotten in other places. Okay, so we're going to hold on with this guy for one more turn. We're actually going to be growing here shortly. Now that I think about it, because we're going to be growing here anyway, maybe it doesn't make sense for us to be able to do that. Let's see if we can trade to Waset, by the way. Surely going to be a good trade in here. And there it is, Anchor Watt. So that gives us 7 out of 7. Oh, and we had Oracle as well. Never mind, we were fine. We had the Oracle as well. I completely forgot about the Oracle. This guy's been growing a little bit too much. We definitely learned from our mistakes right here that we don't want to be rushing food. Definitely not. We always want to be going for production. Even when we're doing a strategy like this where we've got a lot of production up front, it just doesn't make sense. So let's continue adding in more out here. So we want to do Monument and Villa just for the next age. It's going to be incredibly important, though. Why is there no production there? Oh, Academy. Definitely need to get our Academy first, and then we can think about our Monument and our Villa. So let's go and get those, and then finally we can do the market, and then we can do the lighthouse, and everything else in here is absolutely fine. We've also got Great Walls. Now, we could purchase Great Walls in here, but we kind of want to start saving our money for the next era. So I think that's probably going to be a good idea. So let's go ahead, and we'll just focus on getting our production up here. We don't want to, like, obviously we want to try and maximize the benefits that we're getting from this, but at the same time, we don't want to let it ruin what we're doing and our focus. So that is very key. Now, we could instead look to get a little bit of a bonus back here. We've got the Academy. How long have we got? Oh, we're on turn 96% right now. So we need to rush this Academy immediately. That's on a blacksmith. You don't want to put it on a blacksmith. Is there somewhere better that we can put it? Let's put the amphitheater right there. And let's go for our Academy. And there's a 7-1 here, which is a little bit better. These were... yeah, I made a mistake by putting the brickyard on this tile. We'll throw it down here instead. So we want to make sure that we've got academies in every single one of our cities before we go into the next era, at least all the cities that we wanted. And we actually finished at only 7 of 8, so we never actually got that last settler out. That was my mistake. We probably should have looked to have settled somewhere up here, just because, you know, we're leaving money on the table by not doing that. So a little bit of a mistake on my part. I'll say that right now. Finally, it looks like we're going to be growing in 1 turn. Now, is there anywhere else that this guy could go? So we could go here, but it doesn't, like, that's where the buck stops, right? I mean, technically, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can't grow out to here, right? Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, we can't. Where else do we send this guy? Actually, this guy could just become a specialist. Let's do that. This guy will just become a specialist. And we'll put the Great Wall on that tile. And then that way. Now, just double checking. We did finish the academy in here. Yes, we did. Okay, so it definitely feels like we're a little bit preemptively finishing the era here, only on turn 117. Because normally I would play with a longer era, and that would mean that things would go on obviously quite a bit longer, right? Because it means that you've got basically like an extra 20 turns or so that you can fundamentally play the game out for. So it means that you're able to build up your cities a lot more. Actually, are we going to hit our gold? Oh my god, dude. Are we not going to hit our scientific golden age right now? Jeez Louise. I tell you what, man. Maybe I need to go back. Oh, no, we hit it. Never mind. I'm just thinking out loud right now. Like, maybe I got to be really careful about, you know, not playing into this whole thing. Or not playing into the longer era. Okay, let's take a look and see. We've got ourselves a couple more successes right here. And we could do one more merchant in here. I know we've got a merchant that's heading out here, so that's the first merchant. I don't think we're going to be able to make it down to Wasset. We can try. That's going to be 6 turns. That's 6 turns as well. We could look to convert one of our towns over to it. Oh, let's go up here. That makes the most sense, definitely. We just want to try and get as many out as we possibly can. Okay, so we did get the academy in. So we want to try and extend this Great Wall down where possible, but obviously we're not going to be able to do that within reason. So let's now look to... What else do we prioritize in here? I think the main thing is getting the influence, right? The influence from the villa, the influence from the monument. So let's go ahead and grab that. We'll also throw it down onto this tile right here. And hopefully we'll be able to complete these in the age. If we have to, I don't mind purchasing the Great Walls, though they are a bit expensive to be doing. And then over on this side right here, we can look to go into the arena or the amphitheater. Probably the amphitheater makes a little bit more sense. So let's just go ahead and grab that for now. And +2 production on blacksmiths finally comes through. So that means all of our blacksmiths have got slightly more production now. And that means that we can, well, we can produce things a little bit faster. And that is another migrant that we've got. So when it comes to migrants, where do we go about putting them down? I don't know. I mean, we could come out here and try and do this. I don't know if we're going to make it in time, though. That's the thing, right? Like, that's going to take us 6 turns to get out there. It's probably just better that we just keep them in the capital, and we'll try and grow the capital out within these 3 turns. We've got a merchant that we can do in 3 turns, or we can try for an army commander. So let's try for an army commander. And we'll hold with this army commander. Actually, we want to try and bring it back. And there's our next trade. So we'll manage to get that one down. We can bring a little bit of extra production into these cities. Of course, these cities are already producing pretty damn well at this point. Just because of all the extra population that they've got, we'll go ahead and grab it. It's very tempting to click that silver right there, but fortunately I didn't. I remembered, and we're able to get the Great Wall down. Now, remember, we want to get the Great Wall down as soon as we possibly can. We need to make sure that we make them before we go over into the next age. That is imperative. So now we can look to try and complete that here. There's a merchant going out towards this position, out on Babylon. Let's see if we can get this merchant out here, and let's see if we can get this one across to Babylon. Oh, it's going to be tight. I don't think he's going to do it. We're going to risk it. Let's risk it for the biscuit. Okay, we've completed another one. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves another courtesy. I think that one provides culture. So we roll over. We're at 98% right now. We're going to be... Actually, we can actually tell when we're going to be finishing this turn. So we do need to be very cautious. This guy is not going to make it right here. You know, there's another mod that you can get where it makes it so that your future civics don't count towards era progress. And I kind of like that, right? Like, there's a part of me that just goes, well, you know, I don't like the fact that you're, like, now all of a sudden that's just going to push us straight to 100%, right? Like, and now all of a sudden it means everything that we were building in here is just gone. So I still think there's a little bit of room for them to move when it comes, or a little bit of things that they need to change with regard to like the end of the era. Oh my god, what are we doing up here, Charlemagne? I think that, yeah, for like the end of the era, I'd love more of like a countdown. You know how in like Civ 6, how it gives you a countdown? It's like, okay, we're at the end of the era. It's time now. I much prefer that. So let's go ahead and we'll spend our last little points here. So we can go ahead and we'll grab this one right here. And I think we might grab this one as well. This is going to be quite handy for us as we enter into the next age. And let's go ahead and spend some of our guys here. So we've got 3 science on the palace. What else have we got? We've got Mosey here, who's going to give us an extra 1 population in the capital. So we'll use that. We've also got some specialists that we can put down. So we'll grab the cotton. And what else have we got? We've also got some growth that we can do in here. So let's go ahead and put our growth down so we can take some specialists. So we'll go ahead and do this one. We'll do this one as well. And our last migrant, we can now put on, we can do one of these 2, or we could go for the horses. I don't mind going for the horses. I think we'll just take the horses. It probably makes the most sense. So let's go ahead and do that. So our city has now built up a pretty decent amount. And let's just finish off here. We'll just throw a sheet of Fu in. Actually, we'll throw an army commander in just to signify that we're finished. And now we've got our next turn to roll over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this game right here. So I'll leave this save over on the Discord as well. But let's just take a look and see at this sort of final stat line, okay, and what you're seeing here. Because you got to appreciate that not only have we finished this game at turn 122, which is quite early, okay, we do that with an absolutely absurd amount of resources. So here, as an example, we've stayed under our settlement cap, right, when we definitely could have gone over. So that was definitely my mistake for not observing that. So that's also a factor to consider. But realistically, there's a lot of population here that you just don't see. You look at this city and you say, okay, this has got 23 population in it. It's a decent-sized city. But it's not true. Every single one of these Great Walls represents a citizen that was deducted from our total. So in Chengdu, as an example, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 population that has been removed from this. So this is technically a 36 population city. That is ridiculous. And even right here at the end, you can see we're taking 917 food to grow. If we take a look at the capital, probably something similar, 917 as well. Down here in Luoyang, we're at 139. And that's the power of the Han civilization, is that you can grow incredibly big cities. And the numbers don't look that big, but they actually are massive. And these are a huge amount of urban populations that we've got in here. Once again, over here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 urban population that is in this city. That's not including the urban population that's working the wine. I don't know whether we actually worked the wool in the end. It's a huge amount. If we take a look at the final numbers, though, for production, 80 production, 68 production, 63 production, 60 production, 42 production, and 56 production in all of our cities. So now the goal is quite simple. When we go into exploration age, we're going to be taking advantage of the Abbasid dynasty. And the Abbasid are arguably the strongest civilization in the age of exploration, with the exception maybe to Bulgaria, I would say. So let's take a look at what we would do. Now, this was going to be the next video. So first and foremost, we would change our mementos, but because we've already saved the game, we're not going to be rolling, or we're not going to be doing this playthrough right now. We're just going to leave it. So we're going to take the Abbasid, and you receive 30 gold for each rural population of the city when you create a specialist. And the great thing about this is if you've got, say, 15 rural population, you're getting 450 gold. And why do we have all this rural population, you might be asking? Well, the Great Wall. So this is part of the reason why this combination in particular is very powerful. Now, when it comes to the Han, I've played it through with a number of different leaders, a number of different game lengths. Every single one, whenever you're using the Great Wall, you are pushing closer to like 600 culture at the end of antiquity. The only reason we didn't get so high in our game here is just simply because we ended at like, what was it, turn 122 instead of 140. And that's a big difference between it. So now all of a sudden, we're going to be getting gold every time that we convert a specialist in one of these cities for all of these rural tiles. And there's a lot of rural tiles in here. So that is essentially it. That's the game plan. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully I've made my case to why I think the Han are an incredibly strong civilization and probably going to be the next S+ tier Civ, just because of, I mean, we didn't even talk about the defensive bonuses that they've got. Just from a Sim City perspective, they are incredible. A defensive civilization as well. I mean, we haven't really talked much about the Great Wall or the Zhukunu and just how strong those units are, but look, we don't really need to. I think the SimCity has spoken enough. We've let the chess speak for itself. And anyway, we'll leave it there. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.